Hello everybody and welcome to G4G, Games for Gamers. Today we are taking a look at a team that I like to call Team ThunderStar, and it's also a double video of should I spend my hard-earned gold on the Emerald Prism. So this is going to be a double subject video because the two of them go together. And what better way of finding out if you should spend your money on the Emerald Prism than to show you a team that you can actually really use it with. So, let's go ahead and come over here to the news area and we'll show you the Prism. First I want to turn on slow combat. So here it is, the Emerald Prism, 64 gold. It's customized, it's magic, it's a buff, weak PvP stats, so you don't really want to spam this and put it in your armory if you're one of those types of people. Emerald Prism's Glow, one of the most unique effects in all of MAA. While active, beneficial effects are not removed by enemy attacks or harmful status effects. You gain a stacking damage increase when you attack, and you gain a stacking damage decrease when you defend. Well, incoming damage. Your attack stays the same, but your defense goes up. So, what is similar to this? Well, obviously the Scroll of Aknazak does the first part of this. Other than that, nothing really in the game tackles the damage increase and the defense increase. You have some ISOs that help the defense, but nothing really that wraps it up in a neat package like this. If you want to see a good idea of this item in action, take a look at Kingfisher's channel and look at his video of why Thing is invincible in PvP. It's Black Bolt and Thing making use of Emerald Prism and the ambient particles. So where does this really go in for? Well, if you have the Scroll of Aknazak, you can already do the first part of this. If you were not around at that time, or didn't get it, you really absolutely have to get the Emerald Prism because of that #1 buff over there. It seals in your buffs. That is essentially Indomitable Spirit and a gadget. So, you have to forgive me today for sounding a little coldy. I seem to have caught something at work today, so unfortunately I'm stuffier than usual. So I'm going to show you a team up that I have in mind for this item, and it's funny that it went on sale because I was using this team up anyway. This dropped, I'm like, oh my god, it's perfect. So it's Thundra and Star-Lord. Thundra and Star-Lord traffic in a lot of pressure points and buffs called the Rising Up buffs. So Neurotrope, Emerald Prism, Chakra Strike, and the Cube are fantastic for it. I'm going to go ahead and discuss some other items that you can substitute if you don't happen to have these items. So I'm going to give you a wide range of things you can do. By the way, today's background soundtrack is brought to you by Square. Back when they were good, it is the Chrono Cross OST. A link will be in the description. Phenomenal game. Some people are like, oh, Chrono Cross sucks compared to Trigger. Honestly, I beg to differ. I say Chrono Cross was one of the absolute best games of all time, and the plot will seriously give you a mindfuck if you ever actually pay attention to it. It's pretty cool that Chrono Trigger did the whole time hopping thing, but the universe hopping thing of Chrono Cross and its tie-ins to Trigger, phenomenal. Play the game if you get a PlayStation 2 or a PS2 emulator. So, Emerald Prism, you can use the Scroll of Aknazak, and that helps, but Emerald Prism does a few things that the Soak doesn't, and obviously the Soak does a few things that Emerald Prism doesn't. Neurotrope is pretty big. Chakra Strike can be replaced with the Neuro Purge, because you can see here it does pressure points, and you can also replace it with an item in the store especially if you want to change your game plan up a little bit. I'll show that to you. That's a few pages in, and it is called the Crystal Shiv. So the Crystal Shiv has a chance to counter, and it causes pressure points. So of course you would do pressure points when you lead with it, and you have a chance to cause pressure points when you counterattack. So that is basically the premise of this team. It's pressure points, and it's rising up buffs. So I'm going to show it to you in action. Okay, so Star-Lord is going first, which is a beautiful turn order, except for the fact, oh, this one doesn't have the Infiltrator. Perfect. So we're going to lead with a Spray and Pray. So you can see above, a bunch of rising up buffs went out. Aw, beautiful. Okay, so she now is enraged, and she is completely buffed up. So, what we're going to do is we are just going to deal pressure points to somebody. And we're going to get the breakthrough. So, it's now my agent's turn, so let's look at her. She's at 1305. We're going to go ahead and put this out. And because of the tactical suit with snappy service, the crystal is going to become a quick action. Now, it hasn't changed because she hasn't attacked yet, but we're going to go ahead and put out pressure points. He's going to lose his turn because he's stunned. Free buffs. Okay, so now she's ready to go. This is not the max that she can get up to over here. She can get up higher, and that's where a double attack of Cyclone Smash is going to come in. So first Rolling Thunder, which further increases her buffs if she didn't have them already. And she's taken a stack of Emerald Prism, so now she's up a little higher. Believe me, she can get jacked. So I'm going to go ahead and kill off the weakest one and have her try to finish this one down here with a really big kill. Oh, it's going to be a kill off of the Neurotrope. Still pretty big. Hopefully this round over here we get to see her do her big Paragon exploitation. There she is. Now she's almost at 1500 extra attack, and if we look at Star-Lord and my agent, they're considerably lower, and that's because of the Emerald Prism's glow. So we're going to do some single targets over here. And there's the passive, which is further going to help Thundra. So there, she just keeps her buffs rolling along. So the way this team is set up is pretty much she's just gonna always be running her buffs over there. And they can't be removed. They can't be removed because of her ISO, and they can't be removed due to Emerald's glow. So now she's dropped her enraged a little. There she goes. 1075, still pretty solid. So let's watch the finest hour kill go here. Pretty solid. I've seen her hit crits of about 5.2k in this setup. So now, she is not fully PvP ISO'd at this particular point in time, but I'm going to show you her loadout. First, we'll take a look at Star-Lord. He is in his alt suit, which is modern Star-Lord. I don't have any ISOs running him yet, because of course my agent's still leveling, so the ISO should go into him at the time that I'm going to use him. But there's his tactician version. And we will come over here and take a look at Thundra herself. So she's got some cheapies in here, and that's because of her doing the heroic with She-Hulk and Tigra. So I wanted her to have a little bit. But as you can see, I have her with her Resolute Empowered ISO 8, which is Indomitable Spirit, which affects her. She can never lose her buffs. And there is her Tempestuous Augmented ISO 8, preemptively attack with Rolling Thunder when using Cyclone Smash. So that means when you go to use Cyclone Smash, she starts with Rolling Thunder, which gives her some buffs. Now, Cyclone Smash doesn't do any exploitation. It's Perfect Storm that is her big meat. But this is good for a stun. It debuffs the enemy. And of course, if she does 2 attacks in 1 round, she gets wind up, and then she can run the wind up into Perfect Storm. If she gets an extra turn from Star-Lord due to 12% of a plan, she could do Breakthrough into Perfect Storm, which is really, really nice. What ISO you can give her once she hits 13? You would want to maybe add the melee attacks increased defense. That would be really, really good for her. Defenders do not have the, or bruisers do not have the best ISOs in the world if they're not defenders. Like Groot obviously gets his extra turns from defending, but somebody like Thundra, basically you want to go for things that would be good for attack. So I would say a good loadout would be Skull Thumper on Star-Lord for all his attacks, causing a chance to stun. And then for Thundra, obviously try to get her ISO. And then go ahead and try to add one of the bruiser-specific ones, or anything based off of melee. As for individual augmenteds, basically these are all melee attacks, and that one's unarmed. So you could do... We take a look over here, you have increased chance to hit. You have Wide Open. Wide Open would be phenomenal for her. And you would probably want to load that on whatever would be her join-in attack, which I do believe she joins in with Rolling Thunder. So this is a good one for Wide Open. And then the rest, maybe Perfect Storm, you would want to do increased damage. The hit chance does look a little low over there, but that's just because of her ISOs. But I would say increased damage because there are 3 attempts at hits over here. So there you go. There is Team ThunderStar, and there is a video on should you get the Emerald Prism. My answer is going to be yes. It's going to be yes if you like Rising Up heroes. It's going to be yes if you did not get the Scroll of Aknazak. It is going to be yes if you can think of anything that you want on your heroes that you don't want to have it removed. Hey, mental coordination. That's a perfect one. Maybe you don't want mental coordination from Psylocke removed. So, Emerald Prism is great for that. If you have the tactical suit and snappy service, you can hit 2 people in 1 turn. If you do not have the tactical suit, you would waste a turn using it. But it's pretty solid if you lead with something like Neurotrope and then hit this on somebody that you don't want their buffs removed. If you have a solid jump-in tank like Wonder Man, like Medusa over there in the background, anybody who can jump in and intercept attacks like Groot, if you like using Groot, Emerald Prism is phenomenal for you because it really might give some longevity on Groot. It could probably help Medusa be a phenomenal tank over there because she already takes reduced damage. Emerald Prism jacking up her defense also aids in on it. Wonder Man, Thing, anybody else who, you know, if you're running Phoenix and you mind-link somebody and have them tank, Emerald Prism is really, really good for that. So, there you go. There is a video on Team Thundra and Star-Lord, Team ThunderStar, and should you get the Emerald Prism, I'm going to say yes. Spend your gold, get the Emerald Prism. Take care, everybody, here on G for G, Games for Gamers, and thanks for watching.